Your girl's back. So this video is gonna be a story time. I can't believe I'm doing this video. Any of my family members, don't watch this. I don't want you to think less of me. Today I'm gonna be doing a story time on the time that I smoked weed and I had a horrible experience. I tweaked out like crazy. I just want to put out there, first and foremost, I personally am not against marijuana. I think it helps people for various reasons: stress, anxiety, life. I know people that smoke it. I don't have anything against it. It's not for me. My anxiety and weed, it doesn't mix. So just to get that out there, I started, well, actually before anything, I was so against drugs. Like when I was in middle school, you know, all my friends were smoking and they were trying to get me to try it and stuff. I'm like, nah, like I'm good. Like I don't want to die. My freshman year of high school, I finally was curious. What's the hype about? Why do people like doing it so much? My guy best friend at the time, who was a regular user, you know, I hit him up. I'm like, yo, like, I want to try it. I'm curious. And so he got the drugs. And then after school one day, I remember I smoked a joint. I took like a puff or two and I didn't feel anything. And I'm like, okay, this is what people like hype about, is like, I don't feel anything. I wasn't high or anything. I actually went to sleep like 5 minutes later. So I smoked again, didn't get high the second time, smoked a third time, and I'm like, this is what this is about. Whew. Being high is like a good high. It's pretty nice. You feel so euphoric. You feel like you're literally sleeping on a cloud. Everything, like colors are more vibrant. Like you feel like the happiest you have ever felt. You feel so relaxed, so chill, so cooled out. Like I see why people like this. That's where my weed journey began. Now I also want to put out there that I was never a regular user. The most I would smoke is like twice a week, and then I wouldn't smoke for a month, and then I would smoke again like 2 times in a week. So that's kind of how I did it. I was never like every day, every morning, like nah. I just kind of liked the way it made me feel, so I did it every once in a while. Now, up until this point, the story time, up until that, I've always had very positive experiences smoking weed. You know, it helped me relax, it helped me chill out. It was kind of like a cool thing to do, like, you know, like a relaxation with your friends kind of thing and whatnot. I would do it with my friends before school and after school and whatnot. I have many positive experiences with it. But unfortunately, this one negative experience is what did it for me. I don't do it anymore. It's been 3 years since I've touched it. Probably, I will not ever touch it again. Weed is not for me, and that's okay. Like, I gotta find something else to relax. So, this took place my senior year of high school. Now, if you went to high school with me, you will know the people involved. This is just purely for entertainment. This isn't to get anyone in trouble or whatnot. So I'm just gonna tell the story and shut my mouth. It was either a week before my birthday or a week after my birthday. I'm hitting up this person and I'm like, hey, so are we gonna smoke after school? And she was like, yeah. So then we're texting back and forth, and then 2:45 comes when the bell lets all of us out, and we meet at the location where all the kids get let out for like pickup car line sort of. And then how this works is there's like a gate that lets you out of where my school is. If you take a right, there's a sidewalk that goes a little bit away, and then there's like a neighborhoods, like houses. So we're walking and we're trying to figure out where we're gonna smoke. And by the way, I had smoked with this person I think once or twice before, I don't remember, and again, nothing, positive experience. So I didn't think anything of it. We were deciding on whether to go in the woods or like where to go. So we found this house that had no cars in front of it, and on the side it had like a trailer kind of thing. So we were like, yo, you want to just go behind this trailer? It was such a bad idea because literally the owners of that house could have pulled up anytime and I could have gone to jail. But the Lord himself was watching over us that day, and no cars came to that house. We're behind the trailer and she's fixing the drugs. We smoked out of a bowl, which bowls usually hit way harder. So as I'm smoking, I'm realizing I'm not coughing, which is weird because like I said, I was never a regular user, so it's not like my lungs were used to it. Like every time I had smoked, I coughed like crazy, practically until like I was coughing up blood. That's an exaggeration, but no, really. So I'm smoking and I don't know what I had going on that day, guys, but I wanted to get high as hell. I wanted to forget my name. I smoked a lot. Don't remember how many hits, probably 10 or more, and I was just smoking, and I realized like I'm not feeling high. I still feel the same, and I'm smoking properly because you go let it get into your lungs, and wow, that sounds really bad when I say that out loud. So then when it's time for us to go, she packs up her stuff, I pack up my stuff. As soon as I stepped from around the trailer and as we started walking back, it hit me so hard. Instant fear, instant paranoia. I remember feeling like an elephant was sitting on my chest. My chest was so tight. I was having like a hard time breathing. I was having to like take deep breaths, and I was like, yo, I'm freaking out. And I didn't want to express that because I didn't want to be that friend that was like, that can't hang. So I asked the person I was with, I'm like, yo, are you okay? And she was like, yeah, I'm good. And I'm like, oh, okay. And remember asking her, dude, how do you feel? And she was like an elephant is like sitting on my chest. And I'm like, yo, I'm thinking she's experiencing the same thing I am. How is she so chill about this? Like, I'm freaking out. And I remember just wanting to call the ambulance. I'm like, I need to be in a hospital. Like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. I literally started thinking of my family, good times I had with my family. I'm like, I'm never gonna see them again. This is how I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. They're gonna find me in the sidewalk. Like, oh my God. I was so close to taking my cell phone and calling the ambulance. But I don't know to this day what stopped me from doing that. I felt just this immense paranoia and fear, and it was just such a horrible feeling. We're walking back to school to where all the other kids were waiting in like the pickup car line area. And as soon as we like got to where everyone was, I was like, oh my God, everyone knows I'm high. Someone is gonna come up and stab me. Someone's gonna kill me. These are literally my thoughts going on. And so we find somewhere to sit, and then we sit down, and I'm like crisscross applesauce on the floor. And then my heart starts beating super fast, and so that freaks me out. So then I start getting more anxious. My chest still feels tight, And then I had a weird burning sensation in my chest. Like I felt like my chest was on fire. And I'm like, yo, what the hell did I smoke? This isn't anything I have ever felt before. This is something new. This is not good. I don't like this. And I was freaking myself out. I kept overthinking. I kept thinking about it. And so what I started doing, guys, was just so weird. I literally took my fingernails and started scratching on the sidewalk to try to distract myself from how I was feeling, because it was so intense. I had texted my mom that day and I told her I was going to be in tutoring, which was a lie. So I told her to pick me up later. So it started to come the time where my mom was gonna come get me, and I'm freaking out, and I'm like, yo, I'm not coming down. And it had been like 45 minutes to an hour since I had smoked. So somehow I managed to get inside of the school building, because my high school was really strict. They didn't really let you in once you left the building. It was really weird. But I managed to get in. I got a snack. I got some water. And I just remember like my throat feeling really like tingly, and I'm drinking the water and it doesn't feel like I'm drinking it. Like I don't feel it going down, which is like the craziest thing ever. But that's how I could explain it. And so I go to the bathroom and my friend is with me the whole time. And throughout the whole time I'm asking her, dude, am I gonna be okay? Am I gonna be okay? Like, I don't know, like, this isn't weird, like, whatnot. And she was super chill about it, super chill. And I'm over here in my head freaking out, because on the outside, I looked okay. But I was really tweaking out, guys. I was really tweaking out. So then it was around the time that my mom was gonna come get me. And so she texts me that she's here. And so I left, and I got in the car, and I'm like, she's not gonna know, just play it cool, like don't act any different. So it was my mom driving, my grandma in the passenger seat, my brother in the back seat, and then I was in the back seat. And I just got in the car and I said, I'm really tired and I'm gonna go to sleep, which is not abnormal, because usually when my mom picks me up, when she picked me up from high school, I was usually really tired and I took a nap in the car. I get home, and mind you, this is hours after I smoked, and I still don't feel right. I literally felt as if I got ran over by a bus. Like my whole chest area was sore. It hurt to put pressure on it. It was just weird. I felt exhausted. I felt tired, and I just didn't feel like I was coming down. Like I still felt high. So the next day, somehow I made it to school, and I just, again, was not feeling myself. I was feeling really different. I felt like I was out of my body, like my mind wasn't there. I wasn't all there. And my friend who I did it with, she didn't show up to school the next day, and I didn't think anything of it. I just thought, she's sick or whatever. And so I made it through the day somehow. I don't know how. So then the next day, this is 2 days after I smoked, I'm on my way to school. Just out of curiosity, I texted my friend who I had smoked with, and I asked her, hey dude, because I'm still feeling like the things, I'm still feeling like the tightness in my chest. I'm still feeling like my heart beating. Like I'm still feeling these things. And I'm like, I texted her, I'm like, dude, like, are you good? Like, are you okay? And she responded back, no, dude, I'm really sick. And me connecting the dots, I'm thinking she's talking about what we had smoked and made her sick too. And then I'm like, oh my God, what happened? And then my dad had just pulled up to drop me off. It was in the morning. And I told him, I can't get out of the car. I'm sick. And I started feeling this horrible anxiety that just took over my whole body. Like, having a panic attack is literally the worst thing ever. Like, you feel like you're in a dark tunnel. There's no light. Like, you can't hear or see anything around you. You're just so focused on what you're experiencing at the moment. It's hard for anyone to tell you anything, for you to listen to anything. And that's what I started feeling like. So my dad is like, Nadia, I just drove all the way over here. I'm not going to take you back home like you're going to school. And I'm like, fine. So as I'm walking to school, I go in the building. I'm still freaking out. I'm trying to calm myself down. And I'm like, you know what? I can't do this. I didn't end up going to my first period class. I went to the nurse's office. I remember my stomach starting to hurt. And I went to the bathroom and I was just rocking myself back and forth on the toilet seat. I was like on the verge of breaking down because I'm like, what happened to me? Like, I'm gonna be like this forever. Like, oh my God, like I shouldn't have done it. Like, I'm gonna be brain dead. I'm gonna have brain trauma. I just gave up. I went out of the bathroom because like the nurse's station had a bathroom inside. So when I went out of the bathroom, there was no one there. And so I called my mom and I said, Mom, I'm not feeling well. She's like, what's wrong? And I said, can you please pick me up? I'm not feeling well. Please pick me up. And I kept trying to like push her. And my mom is Latina, so she was not like, okay, sweetie, I'll be there in 10 minutes. She was like, you need to tell me a reason why you want me to pick you up. Like, I'm not just gonna go pick you up. I broke and I'm like, Mom, I did something. And at this point, I'm crying. I'm just like, it's been 2 days and I'm still feeling this way. Like, it's better for her to know now if I might die. Mom, I did something. And she was like, what do you mean? What did you do? And then she started going down the list of questions. She's like, did you take pills? I'm like, no. And she was like, did you smoke something? I'm like, yes, Mom, I'm sorry. Please pick me up. And I started crying. I was crying to her on the phone. And surprisingly, she didn't yell at me. She didn't get upset at me. She just said, okay, I'll be there. And I'm like, oh gosh, she's gonna beat my ass. I'm waiting in the front office and I remember having my backpack up against my chest because it was the weirdest feeling. Like, if I didn't have any kind of pressure on my chest, I felt like really heavy. So I don't know. That probably does not make any sense at all, but it made sense to me at the time. And my mom comes and she picks me up and she takes me to Chick-fil-A and she gets me food. And I'm like, this is very strange. Like, something isn't right. Like, she's gonna go off. She's gonna kill me at any moment. Because my mom does not play with drugs. We have a history of drug abuse, alcohol abuse, and my mom's side of the family. And she don't play that. She always told me, don't try it because we have a history of addiction. You will get addicted. Don't try it. Don't do it. Don't do it. So she doesn't play. That night, I somehow don't know what happened, but I remember I was texting my best friend at the time. We were arguing about God knows what. And she says something to me that triggered the same feeling I was having when I was smoking. I started feeling like I was in a dark tunnel again. I started like breathing really heavy. My chest felt tight. And so I go downstairs and I remember my grandma was on the couch. My mom was doing like schoolwork or work or whatever. And I'm literally going to her out of breath. I'm like, I need to go to the hospital. We need to call Dad. We need to call Dad. I need to go to the hospital. And I was breathing so heavy. She's like, Nadia, calm down. You need to calm down. You're fine. So we go upstairs where my dad was in the room on the computer. And I'm literally sitting on the floor and I'm breathing, trying to catch my breath. And then my mom starts freaking out and she was like, this is why I told you and this and this and this. And my dad's like, you can't trust that stuff and da 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 da. And then I'm like, stop. Please don't yell at me. I started shaking, like physically shaking. My whole body was shaking. I felt like I was in a freezer. I kept shaking and I was whining. I'm like, oh my God, please. So my mom calls her good friend who kind of knows about stuff like this. And she was like, yo, this is what happened to her. And then I kept asking to go to the hospital, but my parents did not want to take me because they felt as if I was fine and I didn't need to go. So when my mom called her friend was like, you need to take her to the hospital. I don't know, maybe something was in it. Maybe she's having a bad reaction. Who knows? But you need to take her. And so my mom, that's when the true Latina showed out. She was pissed. And in the car, she was screaming at me the whole way. I was rocking back and forth. I'm like, I'm sorry, Mom. And I'm crying. We go to the emergency room, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I get seen by a doctor, and the doctor basically told me anything you would have smoked would have left your system, and it's all in your head. And so I'm like, okay, that's really frustrating. That's pretty much it. I was so dramatic about the whole situation, but like I tell everyone this story, you weren't in my shoes, so you don't know how I felt, but that was literally one of the most terrifying experiences of my life. I felt like I was out of my body. I felt like I had no control over my body, and it was absolutely a horrible, horrible experience. And since then, it's been 3 years and I have not touched it. It's not for me, and that's okay. Weed is not for everyone. And I remember posting on Snapchat my hospital ban and putting some quote like, "Thank you, God, for saving me," or something. Like, I was a whole different person in high school, so we're not even gonna talk about that. But after that instance, I started experiencing like panic attacks, which I had never experienced before. I always had anxiety, but I never knew what a panic attack was like until after I smoked. And it took about a good 2 to 3 weeks for me to actually start to feel myself again, like the tightness of the chest, like the burning sensation, the rapid heartbeat, like it was still with me. And I wasn't sleeping well. Like, it was a horrible, horrible, horrible experience. That's pretty much it. That's my story time. It's kind of funny now that I look back on it. Like, I can laugh now and, you know, tell people about it. It's kind of one of those things that happen. Yeah, but at the time, it was not funny. So yeah, that's the end of the video. Thank you for watching. If you want more videos, leave comments, your ideas. Like and subscribe, follow me on my social media, and I will be back with more videos.